Okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I'm thinking good. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Oh, yeah, Black Sun and his officials with this. We got an excellent show here today. So, here to address State of the Union, of course. Um, Definitely give Trump an A plus for that, man. State of the Union was well spoken. Definitely Mount Rushmore material. Definitely, yeah, without a doubt. Um, this might be a shocker to some of y'all, but the whole elemental was coordinated right before, day before, or day of. Was it day before or the day of Trump's speech? I think it might have been the day before, but bravo. That was a lot of people, including the Mexican president, didn't want to give the coordination between the U.S. and United States CIA, I guess, coordinating the takedown of El Mencho of the CMJ cartel. Um, Very interesting. I mean, just very interesting. Right now, they have a no, they have an advisory against going to Mexico until things settle down. But yeah, El Mencho and President Trump's State of the Union correlates very well. And again, I wouldn't have thought nothing of it until I was like, oh, this is right before. Ooh, great move by Trump, great move by Trump. So um, he addressed that, and also he addressed the Maduro situation, which surprise, surprise, he had a political prisoner there that night. Man, Trump is the master of not only showmanship but of surprises. He's the uh, I gotcha president. He is the surprise president. He's the master of surprises because yeah, he brought in, a lot of people demonize the whole situation with Maduro, but he brought a prisoner, a political prisoner that Maduro had locked up, and he brought him to the State of the Union. Bravo, Trump. Bravo, brilliant with that, brilliant with that. Um, so I'm doing the pros and cons, I guess. So let me get all the pros out of the way again. The pros being that he really brought a lot of surprises to the table. And I was, like I said, I was surprised by some of the stuff that he brought about. Now, there was a lot of rumors. I wouldn't even call it rumors, but they were saying that, I don't know, they were saying that the the Honduras situation, or Venezuela, I keep saying Honduras, Venezuela, was coordinated, and that's why nobody got hurt. However, there was a pilot whose legs were shot up, who he brought last night. Trump is full of surprises, man. Trump is full of surprises. So we got that out of the way. Um, the Democrats are in a bad position. They're in a very bad position. Now, again, I've already called it. I said midterms. The Democrats are not taking the Senate. They are not taking the Senate. And after Trump's speech last night, I doubt if they will be taking the Congress. When you look at, the camera kept pointing at, well, was it Cory Booker or Hakeem Jeffries? I can never tell them apart. They're literally like twin brothers to me, man. But they kept showing Hakeem Jeffries. I think no, it wasn't Cory Booker. It was Hakeem Jeffries. Like I said, I can't tear them apart, man. It looked like they're both twin brothers. But showed him, and I think he's supposed to be the face of the Democratic Party. Gavin Newsom, face of the Democratic Party. You got Kamala Harris, who owes a lot of people money, face of the Democratic Party. It's like I really don't think they have a chance. And then the Democrats are using the whole Epstein list to try to derail Trump. And it's like, we all know that there were Democrats and Republicans involved in that. Come on, we know. So that's not a really good because you guys will get caught up in the same soup. You guys will get caught up in the same soup trying to use the Epstein list, and that is not going to work for neither side. And you had Nancy Pelosi, who had the nerve to have released the list. Nancy, your husband's on that list. Let me say it again, Nancy. And that's probably why she got the damn campaign and released the list. Probably, you know, when her husband's on the list. Nancy, your husband's on the list. What are you doing? Sit down, Nancy. Miss Pelosi, sit down. Sit down. Michael Franchise's already told that your dad was controlled by the goddamn American mafia. So sit down. Sit down. I want to speak on the American Mafia too, and I guess I'm gonna have to do a separate video. Michael Franchese. I want to get Michael Franchese on the show, man, because he spoke on the whole cartel thing in Mexico, and I guess I'm gonna speak on a little bit on that too, because you know, El Mencho. I think they took him down long before they said they took him down, and he got it. But I think they caught El Mencho beforehand, and the whole burning down the city, the whole coordination of the burn down of Mexico all over, um, the whole burning down of the city. So yeah, let's talk about that. Um, there were shootouts. There were just people randomly burning up, or I ain't gonna say randomly, cartel members, literally cartel. The Jalisco El Mencho's cartel. I just say El Mencho, CMJ. They were burning down cars randomly all over the city, stations, grocery stores, and whatnot. Now, I will say this: El Mencho and El Mayo are going to go down. Well, it's a very interesting thing to speak on these gentlemen, El Mencho and Amaya, because they own a lot of grocery stores. They own a lot of businesses. They own a lot. They brought a lot of commerce into Mexico, and this is why the cartels are so strong. Because not only do they have henchmen that are sicarios, but they have legitimate businesses that hire people out, and so it's not about people fleshing out the cartels. It's about, if you flesh out these cartels, you're going to flesh out the legitimate jobs that these cartels provide. Again, El Mencho and El Mayo have businesses here in Atlanta. They have grocery stores. They have, I want to say, like secondhand banks here. They got like, I already said grocery stores, right? They got like cellular phone services that they do. They have businesses, and these businesses, again, I know because a lot of these businesses are here in Atlanta, so they have legitimate businesses. And again, El Mencho and El Mayo both have businesses here, and they don't attack each other, obviously, in Atlanta, because the cartels are not here. Well, one can say that they're here, they're not here. What I'm saying is that the violence that follow these cartels, you don't see here in Atlanta, as far as like the real brutal violence. Now, you might have little gang shootouts here and there, but you can't really tie them to the CMJ cartel or anything. You just might just, a lot of the law enforcement write it off as just regular street gangs, you know, the Southsiders, whatever little pocket gangs they have here in Atlanta. And it's not really tied to the cartel. Again, the cartels, like I said, El Mencho and El Mayo have businesses here. They have full-fledged, legit businesses here. And so I take that and take it back to Mexico and say, well, they got full-fledged businesses, legit businesses in Mexico also. Again, they talk about a lot of the grocery stores are being burned down. El Mencho and El Mayo owned a lot of grocery stores. So interesting turn of events. You know, like I said, the coordinated fires everywhere, and then the shooting up of the airports and all that stuff. Um, Now they say there will be a vacuum allegedly in Mexico because of the Jalisco cartel losing their leadership. But y'all know how that works. When a leadership falls, there's already somebody to take the position. There's already somebody to take the position. There's like 10 people ready to take the position because again the cartels are a business. I mean, you got businesses, you got legit businesses, you got a string of restaurants, you got a string of grocery stores, you got a string of movie theaters, you got a string of like bands, mariachi bands that they got their own studio, uh, entertainment industry out there. So they got that whole thing, and the cartels are tied into a lot of legitimate businesses. It's just like here in the early days, the American Italian mafia and the Jewish mafia um, controlled Hollywood. And so, um, same with cartels in Mexico. A lot of people, they commented in Michael Franchi's comparing the two organizations, the American Mafia and the cartels, and what Michael is now looking at is he was so focused on the differences, but the similarities is that just like the American Mafia, Italian Mafia, the cartels have a lot of invested interest in legitimate businesses. You know, a lot of these cartel people don't like doing cartel stuff. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. And a lot of the high ups, um, you know, Michael Franchese, he made a video. He said there's two types of mafiosos. Those being the gangsters and those being the racketeers. And I think he said there's a rare occasion you have a hybrid of some of them doing both. But he was saying that the gangsters are loud and boisterous and they always bring heat because they're always pew-pewing people and all that stuff. And he says that the racketeers understand that that's bad for business. And so when you have these guys running these businesses, they know it's bad for business to keep, pew-pewing people and executing people and whatnot. And so at the end of the day, you want to go legit. You want to have grocery stores. You want to have things that fluctuate businesses for the next generation and the next generation so they ain't got to do all the cartel stuff. And so, yeah, a lot of these guys want to go legit. And so, yeah, El Mencho and El Mayo, in the long run, their hope and wish is that they be remembered for all the good things that they do. The grocery stores, the movie theaters, the entertainment, the mariachi bands, the studios, all that good stuff. They want to be remembered for all the good stuff. The import exports as far as like the corn tortillas, the restaurants and all that. So yeah, they really don't want to be remembered for all the bad stuff, all the gangster stuff. And so, well, you might say, Blackson, how does this relate to Trump? Well, it relates to Trump because his gangster persona is what Trump is going after. Trump wants to go after the gangster persona, he wants to do the same thing Giuliani did to the American mafia, the Italian mafia. He wants to be looked at as the great, uh, the president that went after the Mexican mafia. The Mexican mafia, the cartels are this great evil that Trump went after. And so, yeah, he pretty much, by taking down El Mencho, has now stamped that in his presidency, which is a good move, good look. It takes away from a lot of the negativity, I mean, what do the Democrats have? The only thing the Democrats have is, oh, release the files. And we all know that's not a good, that's not a good stance for the Democrats to stand on, simply because they're mixed in that too. Okay? They're mixed in that whole thing, you know. But I mean, we have we got Andrew, formerly known as Prince. He's been questioned or arrested. Yeah, he's been arrested, and then the guy above him, Mendelssohn's been arrested. So yes, Stromer is looking very bad, bad as far as the whole Epstein thing, and yeah, this makes NATO look bad. But you know what NATO's excuse is? Putin bad. England, are y'all serious? I wish goddamn. Oh, I mean, I wish Poetic was here right now. Is England serious? All they can say, Grand Rising, Black Sun, and MD 202. Oh, what's going on, Jesse? What's going on, bro? Yay. Yeah, Jesse, you know, England, they arrested, like I said, Andrew, formerly known as Prince, and they arrested the guy above him. And so England, all they got to say is, oh, Putin bad. Let's see, MD said at this point, Democrats don't even need a policy position. People are going to vote in November based on getting Republicans out. It doesn't matter who the Dems put in. I disagree with that, MD. But you know, I wish Trump would have mentioned Black American last night, especially at the end of the speech. Right. So, um, I disagree with MD too, man. I think MD is just that's wishful thinking on MD's part. He hoping and wishing, him and Venkat, they really are holding their breath against Trump, and it's like, dude, again, the only, I keep telling Jesse, I keep telling them, we'll see. Well, have they already done the polls on the Senate? The Democrats ain't got a chance against the Senate, and it's a toss-up with the Congress. And after Trump's speech and his achievements last night, do you really want to hold your breath on that, MD? I wouldn't, as a friend, I wouldn't hold my breath on that, MD. I wouldn't do it. Just some friendly advice. The Orange Man bad isn't going to work. It did. No, it's not going to work, Jesse. That whole Orange Man bad and what Venkat and MD don't understand, and I keep telling them, and I keep giving them a layup, Jesse, is that Trump's Achilles heel is the Ukraine-Russia conflict. That's his Achilles heel. And that's not finished. And until that's finished, we will have the verdict on Trump's whole presidency. I don't care what you say about, look, Trump, what he said about ICE and closing the borders, we've done. As far as like the jobs, he's done. The economy, he's done. Getting gas prices down, it's done. The only thing you can hold Trump to is the Ukraine-Russia conflict. That's all you can do. And I keep telling them, and it goes right over their heads. It goes right over MD's head, and it goes right over Venkat's head. That's why I said I hope they don't hold their breath, because they're going to both be dead. Wishing and hoping Trump be out. I doubt that. I doubt that now. I don't think so. I think the people who support Trump are going to continue to support Trump. Because, again, The final outcome is the Ukraine-Russia war. And Trump, he just glossed over it last night. He's like, well, I ended 9 wars, which he did. All those other countries he mentioned, Pakistan, India, the Congo, uh, Armenia. He ended. He can take credit for those wars. He can even take credit for the 12-day war to Israel and Gaza situation. He can take credit for that. So even the whole Iran thing, Israel is not going to derail Trump. The only thing that could derail Trump is if he continues to outright support Ukraine when they're losing. And this is why the Europeans want to weigh it out. They want to weigh, and by the way, MD, and I hate to bust your bubble. JD Vance is going to win in 2028, especially if they talk about running Kamala Harris again. They run Kamala Harris again, it's over, because that's where the Democrats are at. They're in the same position. Democrats are in the same position they were in before Trump got back in office. Think about that. And what's really going to make the Democrats look bad is this whole Fulton County. Are you still going to run for President Blackson in 2028? I should, Jesse. I should run. But we got to see how this Ukraine-Russia situation turns out, Jesse. Because Trump can do a grand slam if he cuts off all aid to Ukraine. He don't realize that. You got Liberace Graham in all Trump's ear talking about, oh, Trump, we got to go to war with Russia. It's like, no. You want to go to war so bad. I don't think the Democrats have an answer for J.D. Vance. No, they don't have no answer. They have no. Their guy right now is Hakeem Jeffries. And Hakeem Jeffries looked like a lost puppy out in the rain, soaking wet. Little puppy out there on the goddamn porch, rain. That's how Hakeem Jeffries looked. He's like, damn, we ain't got nothing on Trump. Trump just whipped out the surprises all during the State of the Union. Just when you thought the Teflon Don was finished. Yeah, the fake Obama, yeah. Hakeem Jeffries, man, he looks like a lost puppy, man. And the Democrats, they don't have nothing. They don't have nothing. And them using the Jeffrey Epstein list is like them holding a gun to their head. It's like, you don't do that. Don't do that, because you got just as many Democrats involved on that list. So I wouldn't advise that, Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, your husband is on that list. Your husband took several trips, and you know it. So don't go there, Nancy Pelosi. But again, the Democrats are silly. This is why they're not going to win in the midterms. They're definitely not They're definitely not winning the Senate. The Senate, they already projected to even gain more seats in the Senate. But as far as like the Democrats in Congress, I don't know. Like I said, it's a toss-up, but again, I wouldn't hold my breath on it. I wouldn't make any bets. I wouldn't go on Katashi and make any bets, MD. Don't do it. Don't do it. I wouldn't advise it at all. I would not advise it. That TDS is real, and that TDS will cause you to lose if you bet against Trump. You're going to lose because he's full of surprises. And again, if you want to concentrate on the economy and on money, MD, like I said, first of all, you don't even concern yourself with Africa. When you talk about economics, you leave out Kwame Traore. Jesse, tell MD how big of a mistake it is to mention economics without mentioning Africa and without mentioning Traore. without mentioning the whole revolution in Africa right now. Will you please explain that to MD? The whole African revolution and how you cannot mention any type of economics without mentioning Africa, and how China and Russia and Africa are like this right now. Africa, as far as Europe, is like Africa is like this. Yeah, you gotta incorporate geopolitical politics, especially Africa. Right, and this is what, see, but so you know, MD is so anti-black. Oh, no black. He refuses to address Africa as being the main source, cobalt, uranium, you mention it. Whatever rare earth comes out of Africa, it's been coming out of Africa. See, this is the difference between, see, see, this is where African studies come in, and this is where me and Jesse, we got that. Unlike MD, you skip that, and when you skip that, this is so. And then you want to come talk about economics, and you don't talk about Africa. That's why we, you know, most of the people who study Pan-Africanism and Black nationalism, we, our core of where the economics comes out of Africa. It's like even the Europeans teach you that. They even teach you that in American history. Like even the Spaniards teach that. Everybody teach that the economical core comes out of Africa. And if you're not talking about Africa, you talk economics, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. You're really like, it's pointless. It's pointless. So I would advise you, if you want to have a discussion on economics, put your head into Africa. Study Kwame Traore, study the Burkina Faso, Mali, study them nations and what they're doing. Study the revolution, and I know that goes against your core because you're so anti-black nationalist, you're so anti Pan-Africanism that you're not gonna. It's all that's going to keep going over your head. That's going to keep going over your head, and your economic arguments or discussions is going to be pointless. It's going to be pointless because you cannot avoid black nationalism, Pan-Africanism in Africa. You can't avoid it. And this is why the Yangas, the Jessies, and myself will always have leverage over you when it comes to economics, because you refuse to address Africa. You would, yes, study Kwame Nkrumah, Steve Blayoko, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pan-African, you can't, yeah, and that's what MD skipped that somehow. He skipped that. You need to study all of that, MD. You need to catch up with us. You need to catch up with the black nationalists and the Pan-Africanists. You need to catch up. Then you can have a discussion, a legitimate discussion on economics. Without Africa, you cannot discuss economics. And who has the economical backup in Africa? China and Russia, because China and Russia understand that you have to build roads and hospitals. You have to give the people of Africa something in return. They need to practice Pan-Africanism and continental. We've been doing that over 100 years, and it's been one-sided affair. Right, but you know, you got people like MD who's late to the party. Like, he is really late to the party. You want to talk about economics. You want to talk about economics, but don't want to talk about the revolution over in Africa. So study that, MD. Study that, okay? And then on top of that, you want to talk about what the Democrats and Republicans, the Democrats, but you're not even looking at Fulton County. Trump is about to bust Fulton County wide open with that scandal. Like, they're busted. And the whole world is looking at it, except for you, except for people with TDS. People with TDS, I don't know what's wrong with them. What's wrong with them, Jesse? Like, the whole world, except for Vincent and MD, are looking at this whole scandal in Fulton County.
People in Colorado, people in Arizona, people all over are looking at Fulton County right now. Fulton County, Georgia. Oh, and they say Arizona's next, by the way. You know, this is going to set precedent, like you said. Like I said, Trump is full of surprises, and those were light surprises. Fannie the Mammy is going down. Right. And be quiet about that, though, Jesse. Because that is going to be the biggest scandal, the 2020 election, where Trump was ahead, we all went to sleep, and then Biden was ahead. That is going to be the greatest scandal, and Trump is about to bust that wide open. Like Trump taking down the El Mencho is nothing. And for me being from LA, Jesse, that's saying a lot. Trump taking down El Mencho is nothing. Him taking down the cartel is nothing compared to what is going down in Fulton County. Rico Queen is going down. Jesse, I'm trying to tell you, Jesse. I'm trying to tell you. You know, and Jesse, again, we come from the West Coast. You and me, we come from the West Coast, and we know taking down a cartel is big. Taking down a cartel big, but what is bigger than taking down a cartel? Fulton County. Taking down Fulton County is bigger than taking down any Mexican cartel. Tell me I'm lying, Jesse. That's huge, right? This Fulton County is going to be huge. And so again, the whole thing with El Mencho was coordinated. You know that, Jesse. You know the whole thing. They caught El Mencho before. Trump caught him and timed it right before the State of the Union. He timed it right before the State of the Union, but they had already caught El Mencho. But Trump is all about timing. He's all about showboating and shit. So he timed it right before his State of the Union address, Jesse. But Trump had already caught El Mencho. He had already worked with the Mexican government, and they already had intel and all that. They had already caught him, but they said, you know what, we're gonna release this right before the State of the Union. But they had already caught El Mencho. That's why I think those fires, I don't think it's not even important about them setting fires. The reason I say that, Jesse, is because the fires, I don't think was started by the cartels. I think that was coordinated by the goddamn CIA, American CIA. They coordinated that to make a big spectacle. They caught El Mencho. El Mencho, they've been caught El Mencho. But that was a big spectacle right before the State of the Union, so that Trump can put it in a speech. Perfect for Trump, man. And again, hey Blackson, what's going on, Fox? What's going on? So, yeah, that's where I stand, y'all. That's where Trump was full of surprises, and there's more surprises to come. And the biggest surprise, I think, is going to be the Republicans taking the Congress. I keep maintaining the Congress. But again, that's why I said it's a toss-up. But I don't want MD and Vincent expecting this blue wave to come. It's not happening because they're still in the same position and they're not dealing with the Fulton County situation. As long as they got that Fulton County situation, it's not a good look. You can try to ignore it all you want, MD. That's bigger than the cartel. All those fires, all the El Mencho, Fulton County's bigger than that. Everybody sit down. I'm about to tell y'all something. Sit down right now. Jesse, sit down right now. I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. I'm about to blow Vincent. I'm about to blow their TDS way back. Blow their TDS way back. The Fulton County scandal is bigger than the Epstein list. Let me say it again. I said it. The Fulton County scandal is bigger than the Epstein list. this is what Democrats don't understand. People are more pissed about you trying to take their votes than the Epstein list. Tell me I'm lying. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. We take that Fulton County situation personal. We don't agree with the Epstein list, but what I'm saying is that Fulton County scandal is bigger. You trying to cheat us out of the elections is big. So it's bigger than the cartels, it's bigger than the Epstein list. There's nothing that you can pin on Trump that is worse than the Democrats trying to cheat in the elections. There, I said it. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. The Fulton County, when this thing blows, is going to overshadow the whole. Cause they try to hold on. Oh, the Epstein list, man. The Fulton County, when they find that there was, I mean, they found that it was cheating. Judge already signed off on it. This is going to be the biggest scandal in history. The Fulton County 2020 election is going to bury the whole Epstein thing. And I'm just saying that's what's going to happen. This is going to overshadow, and this is where Trump is putting all his chips in. The Fulton County scandal, the cheating is going to overshadow anything and everything. It's going to overshadow Iran. It's going to overshadow. And again, the only Achilles heel, again, let me say this. Trump's Achilles heel is not the Epstein list. It's Russia and Ukraine. But guess what's going to overshadow Russia and Ukraine? Guess what's going to finally make me shut up about Russia and Ukraine? Fulton County. I noticed he was champion voter ID last night. Oh yeah, that voter ID. Yeah, he's going to. Yeah, that Fulton County thing is going to push that voter ID over the edge. Like I said, Jesse, that 2020 election, that 2020 election is going to be the thing that goddamn puts Trump over the top. And Trump is just holding on to that. They already know there was cheating. We already know it's cheating, but they got proof now. And because they got the proof, Trump is holding, just like he held on, again, if you don't think he held on to the capture of El Mencho, he held on to that. He been called El Mencho. He been called El Mencho. He been called El Mencho. And that's why they coordinated those fires, to make it look like, oh, the cartel's bad, they caught El Mencho. No, they didn't caught El Mencho. Mencho been caught. So, again, just like Trump surprised us with El Mencho, he's going to surprise us with the Fulton County. And what MD fails to mention is that Trump's ratings went back up after that State of the Union. So, oh, trust me, MAGA is going to come out and support whatever candidate they need to. That's why I said I wouldn't bet on the Congress. I'm definitely going to bet on the Senate. He's taking the Senate, but again, and they're taking 2028. Now, Jesse, again, the whole Ukraine-Russia thing will determine if I run or not, because again, Jesse, that's Trump's Achilles heel, but again, it will be overshadowed by the 2020 election here in Fulton County. All eyes are on Fulton County. And then MD want to talk about popularity, economics, but he keep doing the goddamn 3-card money when it comes to Fulton County. So you cornered yourself, MD. You cornered yourself with economics because you got to deal with Africa. And then on the other hand, you got to deal with Fulton County, so the walls are closing in on you like Indiana Jones. Like Tomb Raider, the walls are closing in on you. telling y'all Trump haters, but y'all got so much TDS, y'all don't understand that his Achilles heel, again, is the Ukraine-Russia conflict, but that will be overshadowed by Fulton County. Once the Fulton County thing comes out, we're gonna campaign for Trump to be king. Once Fulton County comes out, if Trump decides he want to run for a third term, nobody will object. That's how bad the Fulton County scandal is. If Trump says after the Fulton County scandal, I want to be king, we'll be like, you know what, Trump? You deserve being king because you exposed all that nigga shit in Fulton County. All that cheating in Fulton County, you exposed it. And he will go down as the greatest president of all time. Because nobody likes a cheater. Nobody likes a cheater. And Fulton County is a county full of cheaters. Not only do we have Fulton County cheaters, but you got cheaters over there where goddamn Jesse is in Colorado, Arizona. We got cheaters all over. That's why Fulton County is so important. And again, this trumps Epstein list, this trumps Russia, Ukraine. Oh yeah, this heard from me. Mr. Russia, Ukraine. I'm Mr. Russia, Ukraine, and I'm telling you, Fulton County is going to overshadow that. Fulton County is going to overshadow that. And I still stand on Ukraine, Russia being Trump's Achilles heel, but this Fulton County scandal, it might overshadow until 2028. It's definitely going to overshadow the midterms, just depending on how soon we get the evidence that there was cheating. And the Democrats are looking bad right now because they want to, oh no, why are they investigating? Why is the FBI investigating? Seriously? Why is the FBI investigating the 2020 election? Are you serious? And they're fighting tooth and nail, fighting like dogs. They want to get they want to get it back. It's looking really bad for Fulton County right now. And again, Fulton County, you can take this to the bank, MD. Take this to the bank, Jesse. Y'all take this to the bank. It's going to overshadow everything right now. Because Trump got all his chips. The way he was playing his cards last night, I'm like, oh, Trump is badass. He's badass because he played everything to the T. That thing last night, that whole State of the Union was perfect. Trump played his cards. He's like, oh yeah, Maduro. Oh yeah, El Mencho. Oh yeah, he was just playing his cards left and right. He was just, goddamn, if this was spades. Y'all, Jesse, you done played spades. Everybody done played spades. Even Mr. Anti-Black Nationalist MD done played spades. Anti-Pan-Africanist MD done played spades too. You know, when you have a suit, you just have, you have goddamn spade after spade after spade. That's what Trump was doing. He was playing spade after spade after spade last night. And he ain't done. Not done. So his biggest trump card is the Fulton County scandal. Them cheating in the elections. That is the biggest trump card he's got. Now, me personally, I want him to play his goddamn Ukraine-Russia card, but that's not his biggest card in the deck. Was his biggest card in the deck until this Fulton County thing went down. So again, this Fulton County thing, Cat asked me what would it take me to be against Trump, and I said if he continues to support Ukraine,